Traders checking in on the stock market today. Blue sky breakout for SPY. Bulls in complete control as we've seen all week from this bounce. Weekly uptrends remain intact. Fear has been alleviated. Let's check out the charts.
Introducing the Chart Guy's Swing Report, a weekly digital publication that uses technical analysis to identify long-term market opportunities. Understand the market from a swing trade perspective. Follow institutional money as it rotates from sector to sector, and make the most of the Swing Report's weekly trade opportunities, with key entry and exit levels provided. Performance is tracked and updated weekly. For more information, visit us at chartguys.com. Now, let's check out some charts.
So here we go with the V-shaped recovery back to all-time highs with a very strong close. And if you just zoom out, this has been happening on all different kinds of time frames over and over again. Just V-shaped recovery. This one was over maybe 8 days. This one was over a couple weeks. And then, of course, the V-shape back to all-time highs from the dump back in early 2020. It is training people to believe that we will always V-shape, bounce, and recover. And maybe we will for another few years. What do I know? But it will not always be that way. So just be prepared for that time where it's not. Because there will be a time where it's not. But that time is not now. So looking at QQQ in response to Google and Amazon earnings. So we were watching this double top at the all-time high, and here we are right at that level. So clearly no bear follow through. The low of today on QQQ, holding that low of yesterday by 14 cents, set the tone for the bulls. It was in the first half an hour. The low held. We bounced with the lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. How that 5-minute time frame breaks dictates a lot about the rest of the day. If this 5-minute equilibrium breaks bearish, the odds that we break that low of yesterday increase significantly. It broke bullish, giving us a double bottom at that low of yesterday, giving the bulls absolutely nothing to worry about. The S&P 500 futures chart, and I'm glad I looked at this first thing this morning and posted it in the chat room because after this move, I was having a bit of a bearish lean. And I was saying, okay, we're really extended. We need to at least cool things off. And then this morning, I wake up and I say, well, that is a 12-hour bull flag, and could confidently say that if the low of yesterday does not break, this is a bull flag. And it's a little cup and handle pattern just in the sense that we topped out just under the all-time high, we bull flagged, and now we've got this all-time high. So the bulls are back in absolute control. The financial sector has been leading the way to the upside the last couple of days. We'll look at that in just a second. IWM, V-shape to a higher high. Again, all of these weekly time frames holding the EMA 12. And now SPY right off of that level and back in full control. Healthcare, we have our 114.05 low, and healthcare is a nice tightening pattern on the daily. 114.05 is the most important support. 116.95 is the most important resistance. And we will see a break of this tightening range probably early next week. And XLV has clearly been the weakest of the major sectors over the last few days. The financial sector, as I mentioned, has clearly been one of the strongest. Look at the last 2 days. Green Marabozu today standing out a lot more convincingly. But again, just a weekly higher low right off EMA 12 support and looking right back at the all-time high. Even if we reject from the all-time high initially, tons of space to be scouting a higher low, and at the worst, forming a daily tightening range. So just a complete all-out shift in direction from the end of last week, or all of last week, into this week. And again, that's the same thing on the tech sector, and the same thing on SPY. Biotech sector. Trying a daily bull flag here. It was the low of yesterday that held by 3 pennies. Nice bottom fishing play there as well. If the inside bar breaks bearish, we look for a daily higher low. Anything above 148.88. And if the inside bar breaks bullish, we are right back at all-time highs. Semiconductors. Holding strong. Trying for a daily higher low here. So we are tightening up on the daily, where the most important levels for me are 224.93 and 246.79. And trading sideways within this range, we're right smack dab in the middle of it. If the bulls can get back over 240 from here, we will have regained a daily uptrend, and the all-time high will be the next level. Solar names also tightening up. If the low of today were to break tomorrow, which is 114.30, then our daily lower high is set, and we then scout, can the bulls hold 106.81 to form a higher low. So looking at our sectors, we've got solar sideways, we've got the semiconductors sideways, and everybody else is strong. Actually, no, healthcare sideways. Everybody else is strong for the bulls. Nobody is bearish. It's either sideways or extremely strong. Until the bears start proving it to us. Again, there are traders out there who are just banging their head against the wall week after week, just having this short bias and having these glimpses like last week where they're saying, this is it. I'm right. We're finally going to get it. And then we just V-shape back to all-time highs. And it's just got to be soul-crushing and really hard to deal with. Try and shake your bias as much as you can and allow price action to dictate everything. The VIX dropping down, 2110 coming back into play and just falling off a cliff. We know what bounces do here in the short term. It looks like GME. Wow. How about that? Those are the same charts. January 28th was the top. Okay, a little bit different. Last 4 or 5 days are certainly the same. Interesting. So, we will see a short-term bounce, but it's a falling knife at this point. Let's see if UVXY has any levels to be playing off of. $10. We'll see if that can hold. But a falling knife is the kind of thing where we know a bounce is inevitable. We know it'll be just looking for a lower high. But again, it's really hard. The probability is not in your favor to just constantly be looking for a falling knife to bounce. Same thing with GME. It's best to wait until the bulls prove something, give you a level to play off of. And again, you don't need to nail the bottoms to be a successful trader. The dollar, continuing its bull move. The S&P 500 does not care. Bitcoin does not care. The metals do care. And the dollar is creating the space for the potential of a weekly trend change, which would give us a 6-month higher low. Only 146 days left to go in this candle. So that's what we're watching from here. Can we change the weekly trend? So gold falling apart. 4-hour failed to change the trend. Big time drop back down. Daily time frame taking out all kinds of support levels. And now we're just looking at the low, 1764. If that level breaks, we confirm a monthly downtrend. The gold bulls' backs are against the wall here. And it is due to the dollar's strength in large part. I will stop out of my GLD position if we break that low. Silver, not nearly as weak. Again, a night and day difference. Look at the XAU, XAG chart as a comparison, and it is not doing much the last couple of days. It gained on that day where silver pulled back hard, but overall, we're in monthly, weekly, and daily downtrends, which shows us silver is stronger than gold. So silver's still looking for a daily higher low, and we're nowhere near our monthly support. We would have to drop 40%, no, 20% from here to be at those levels. Whereas gold is close. Percentage drop gold needs less than 2%. Miners, not proving anything. Big time gap down, lack of follow through on the bear break. But if miners are already breaking monthly supports, that's going to increase the odds that gold can break the monthly support as well. So we broke 33.25. Not a ton of follow through. Actually, it's only 2 pennies. We could call that a double bottom at this point. But we would need, for the next 3 days, a complete turnaround in the metals for the miners to have any confidence that that double bottom can hold. Worth keeping an eye on for the next couple of days to see if it can hold. Oil, all bulls. Oil and SPY doing the same thing all week. Extremely strong. Resistance is 57.41. No sign of weakness. 4-hour EMA 12. 4-hour uptrend. Bulls in complete control. Nat gas, daily higher low very quickly set. So new support at 2736. And now we're just looking at 3 and 310 to confirm a long-term monthly trend change for the first time in a long time. And step by step, this has been a really good lesson in just the shift from complete bear control and then just going one time frame at a time. Have to change the daily trend, have to change the weekly trend. And it takes a long time for everything to play out. But those long-term momentum shifts, that's something that I've mentioned in the recent videos where it's been the same thing for the marijuana sector and the crypto stocks and the 3D printing sector and just the hype and euphoria to the long drawn-out fade. And I am just making mental notes and stocking things away in my brain for the next time this happens, because I will be making long-term entries on long-term momentum trend changes. Long story short, I'm learning things is what I'm trying to say, and I will apply this in my future trading, absolutely. I'm great at playing hype sectors and keeping my gains, and I have not been great at re-entering them, but I'm learning. Bitcoin and the MJ sector have been two great examples over the last 3 years, and I look forward to the next time we see a hype cycle fade and go into despair mode for long periods of time, and then the reemergence. Didn't do much trading today, went to a waterfall, but APHA, I did top fish, resistance, saw all Canadian MJ names fail to break their high of yesterday this morning. We got fairly close within 32 cents and rejected. CGC got even closer and then rejected. So I was playing bearish to start the morning, and then I flipped bullish, looking for the hourly higher low, watching the low of yesterday, and the 15-minute RSI was pretty beat up. Actually, not as beat up as I thought. We did get to oversold. I was just doing short-term flips on 5-minute oversold conditions. So some little wins, nothing notable. And the metals did drop my account a bit. So in the end, I think my account took a step backwards, and I'll make that back tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bulls have complete control. We have to see follow through. We have to see losses. And that's why bears are so frustrated. When you have uptrends on every single time frame, monthly, weekly, daily, you lose the daily uptrend, it's just a weekly higher low. You lose the weekly uptrend, it's just a monthly higher low. And that's why people that are not as in tune with all the different time frames get so frustrated and get fake out, because you say, oh, we finally lost the daily uptrend. Bears are going to run with it. No, just a weekly higher low. And that goes in line with the long-term momentum shifts that I was just talking about, where it takes time. You got to change the daily trend. You got to change the weekly trend. You got to set up the monthly trend change. That takes months to play out. But it's just, rather than the day trading, flipping of the scales from supply of shares to demand of shares when I'm looking for a bounce, this is happening on a long-term time frame, and it's going like this, and it takes months as opposed to taking 20 minutes. So it's all the same thing, just way different time frames on how it plays out. I hope you all have a good day. Make sure and do some good things out there, and we will see you next week.